Good morning, lovely people. Time to start another vlog. The lighting is probably very weird. I'm in my dining room. It's very grey and dull outside. I've got the overhead light on. I've got friends coming for a sewing day today. We're going to be making tote bags for a local organisation that helps women get a step up in life. And what they do is they help them fill their tote bags with clothes so that they can look presentable to apply for jobs and that sort of thing. So my plan was to get everyone together. We make at least one tote bag each, maybe two. Depends whether we run out of time or not. So I have set up my living room and dining room as a sewing area again. I love doing this. It's nice to sew upstairs for a change. You know, I usually sew downstairs in my basement sewing room. But the light is usually so much better up here. Not always. Like today, it's really, really dull. But still, it's a change of location. I'll just show you what I've set up so far and the fabrics I might be using today. My friends are arriving in about half an hour. I've set up a piece of felt on the top of my wooden dining room table just to protect it from scrapes. My sewing machine is ready with my threads and other little bits and pieces. These are the fabrics I might use. I've got some denim here that I might use, and whoops, dropped it on the floor. This fabric is a cotton I bought in that closing sale at the fabric store about 2 months ago now, and that goes really well with that. Or I might use this one first, which is this lovely upholstery sewing print, or maybe even get adventurous and use this vinyl. It's got a lovely pattern on it. It's very slippery, but it's got a nice print. I've got a folding table set up here with cutting mats, rotary cutters with some fresh blades. I need to put one of those blades in there, my scissors. My ironing board is set up on this side. And in the kitchen, we've got cups, salad dressing for lunch, and some chips and salsa to go with our chili, tea bags, coffee press, coffee beans, grinder, maple syrup, and I'm all set. Well, it's 5 o'clock and my friends have all gone home. We were all sewing frantically and enjoying a lot of laughs, of course, and some good food. I made chili and we had it with salsa and tortilla chips and cheese and banana bread, and it was all yummy. So one of my friends made this bag, and then she made a partner bag to it by putting the dotty on the top. So that was 2 from her. Someone else made this gorgeous thing. Oh, isn't that lovely? That fabric is just so pretty. And then I made, this one first. It's some, I don't know what color you call that. It's sort of a khaki color denim and a white denim. And I just pieced these rectangles together to make a big enough piece to cut out the bag, and just used black webbing for the straps because it was easier. Well, not that it was easier, it was that I hadn't left myself enough of the jeans to make straps with. Let's be honest here. And I had lots of this black webbing that I had bought from the fabric store before they closed. And the lining's really nice too. That's from one of my fabrics that I bought not long before the fabric store shut as well. The second bag I made was this vinyl one. Absolutely love this vinyl. So tempting to keep this for myself, but no, I'm going to give it away. It's not lined. And I didn't really have to do anything for neatening the inside because it's vinyl and it doesn't fray. These bags are huge. They're going to hold so much. We followed the instructions for what size to make them. I was really on a roll by this time. Third one was this sewing print, which I don't know if you were watching when I bought this, but again, this was just before the fabric store closed. It was on bargain center, but half price, so it was $3 a meter, I think. And this was $64 a meter fabric originally. Insanely cheap. And I didn't line this one either, but I did do French seams on this one, so that all of the fraying edges are hidden away. And then the last one was just a really quick vinyl one again. I found this remnant in the sewing room of grey vinyl. And again, no lining. But the back of the vinyl is really nice. It's a bit fuzzy, but it feels and looks quite nice. So that was my day. Pretty productive, I think. Seeing as I've got you here, set up in my living room with my nice quilt behind me, I thought I'd show you these two items together. Now, you've already seen the cowl. I haven't washed these to smooth things out, but you'll get the idea, right? Sorry, probably hitting the microphone again. So that's the cowl, and that is the Oats cowl by TinCanKnits, and this is the Barley hat, which, to be honest, I didn't exactly follow the pattern that well, but I think it came out okay. I ended up doing the decreases so that they were distributed around the hat randomly so that I didn't get any solid lines where they were. And I was trying to make the garter section look as neat as possible. So I always made sure to decrease on the knitted rows, not the purled rows, until I couldn't avoid it any longer. Towards the end, you're decreasing on every round, and so I couldn't avoid it. But anyway, I haven't tried this on yet. I'm thinking it should fit me. So I don't have a lot of hair, but there's definitely room for a bit more hair there if you wanted it. You could make this slouchier, of course, if you wanted to. So there, it's all done. Got my Christmas light earrings on today. None of my friends commented on that. They obviously know me by now that I do wacky things like wear Christmas light earrings in November. So yeah, that's that. Done. Definitely needs washing. Smooth out the stitches a bit. So I'll probably keep this as a gift for somebody, this set. No idea who yet. I usually trust that the right recipient will appear at some point in the future. Well, how annoying is this? Spots the deliberate mistake. Sleeves. Can you see where the difference is? This red round here with the spike stitch, I completely missed it out on this one. I'm going to have to rip out all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 rounds I'm going to have to rip out. I thought originally that I had just forgotten to do the third lot of spike stitches because I looked at that sleeve and then I looked at the picture in the pattern and I thought, oh, I forgot to do the third round of spike stitches. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to carry on. But no, I did it on this one. I didn't do it on this one. That's what happens when you're watching BritBox at the same time. Oh well, this episode of Vera is nice and long. There's another hour of it to go. So maybe, just maybe, I can get this bit redone. The sleeves are not quite long enough yet, so there's going to be a few more rows to do on them, or rounds. But they're not far off being done, and then I'll tackle the front bands. It's a beautiful day for a walk beside the lake. Not too cold. The sun came out. Wonderful. Kicking through fall leaves. Another way to beat the blues in November. There's a little bit of a breeze making my hands cold, but mostly all is calm. Feels like the sun is really low already, and it's only 1:20. Sunset's going to be at 4:05. Look at the snow on the top of the mountains. Well, it's Saturday evening now. What have I done all week? It feels like it's gone so fast. I had a shift Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they weren't long shifts, but they were tiring shifts. And when I haven't been at work, I've been doing sort of, domestic stuff. Wednesday morning, I blitzed the house. Actually felt really good because I hadn't done it in a while. But I've always said it's a good thing to have people come over to visit every now and again to inspire you to get the cleaning done. It's too easy to let it slide otherwise. So after that, yes, the funnest day was Friday. 3 friends. Yes, it was supposed to be 4 friends coming over. 1 cancelled at the last minute. The 3 friends came over. I set up the dining room table, as you will have seen in the earlier bit of video, so that we could all plug in our sewing machines around my dining room table and sew. And it always feels like it starts slow, but then it sort of ramps up. And at some points in the day, there was just this whirring of 4 sewing machines going all at the same time. Lunch was good too, so that was awesome. And yeah, I was really pleased to make 4 bags for this charity. I'm very, very pleased to have got that done. I put one on my little mannequin here, just because one of the things I have been working on quite a lot this week has been the Barley hat. And you'll have seen that as well earlier in this video. And having a finished object is one of the highlights of my crafting days, because I don't know about you, but I'm a finisher. I do not like having things lying around unfinished. I know some people are product knitters or crocheters, whatever. Some people seem to be process knitters or crocheters or whatever. Some people are happy just to experiment with something, even if it doesn't come to a finished result, or just leave half-done things lying around and it doesn't bother them. I get a lot of satisfaction out of finishing stuff, and I think that's why I have been really strong on filling out my Ravelry project pages, because not only do I get the satisfaction of finishing a project, I get to fill in my Ravelry project page, put up the photos and mark it as done with an end date. And that makes me so happy. In addition to the knitting, I have done some crochet. I'll show you the coat in a second. With the Barley hat being done though, I did add a little bit to the 10-stitch twist blanket today. Where did I put it? When we went out for tea this morning. So today was a classic Saturday, you might say. We went out for tea. We then went for a walk along the lakefront. I got a little bit of film of that as well, which I've probably already put in. And then we did a couple of bits of shopping just to pick up some things. We knew there was a sale on one of our favorite products at one place. We needed some other things from another place. And so we ended up being out from about 10 till about 3:30. And by the time we got back, we were hungry, thirsty, and tired. But while I was at the tea shop, I worked a little bit on this one. So you won't have seen this for a while. It's called the 10-stitch twist blanket. Let me show you the right side. I think of these as ice cream colors. I don't know about you, but it just seems like ice cream colors. And it feels like it would be for anyone because it's got all of the colors in it. And you work around, you start with a circle in the middle, and then you work around and around in a spiral, and you join on. So this is where I'm up to here. They are literally 10-stitch rows. All of it, except for that first little bit, 10-stitch rows. And so at the moment, because I have gone past this marker here, I am doing 5 joining rows, joining onto the purl bumps, or should I say the garter stitch bumps in the edge, and then 1 short row. So the 5 joining rows get you across, and then I get a little short row just to get around the curve. And then that will carry on all the way around to this marker. And then it'll be time to do 6 joining rows in between each short row. Now, I'm not finding this particularly exciting. And I am on my second ball of yarn. I've still got quite a bit of the second ball left. So I think that once I have finished with the second ball, I will be finishing this off. I do have more of this yarn, and I dug it out earlier. And I think what I'm going to do, should tell you what it is, shouldn't I? What I'm going to do, I think, is grab a crochet hook and crochet something up to go with the blanket. That'll go a lot faster than knitting with needles that I think are probably, at a guess, 4.5 mil, size 7 maybe. And my nice Caspian ones from Knit Picks. I love those. Can you see them? The yarn is Ice Yarn's Sweet Baby, and was a gift from a lovely lady last year who supported the blog. And once I have finished that second ball, I think I'm going to be done with that little blanket project. And I will make something to go with it, maybe a toy, maybe a teddy or something. And again, I'll find a recipient for it somewhere along the line. And that's that. I picked up some really interesting looking library books earlier. I had done a search online for, well, on the library website for, I can't remember what the search criteria were, but maybe journal making or something like that. And I got to pick them up today. And so I'll do a little flick through of them with the camera on them later, after I've finished talking about the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Now y'all know that I've had my fun times with this, but it's getting there. It's finally feels like it's getting there. So the back is done there, or the body is done, and the hood, the shaped part of the hood, done, and the sleeves are done. Coincidentally, I noticed when I picked this up off the couch earlier that I finished the body with yellow and turquoise, and I finished the sleeves with yellow and turquoise as well. Totally unintentional. What I did for the last few rounds here is I did decrease about three stitches in this round, this turquoise round, and 3 more stitches in this yellow round, because I just wanted to cinch it in around my wrists a bit. This yarn is Loops and Threads Impeccable, and there are 12 colours. I'm not sure whether I have filled out my Ravelry project page properly. I should make sure to do that so that you can go and see what colours I use, shouldn't I? Anyway, I, just for fun, counted up all the stripes, all the colour changes I had made in this, and multiplied by 2, because obviously there are going to be 2 ends to weave in for every stripe or every little wavy line or whatever. Last night, when I was halfway down the sleeves, there were probably around 222 ends. There's probably about 250 now. So that's going to be quite the job, isn't it? Let's see. If I was to just do 1 end per minute, that's 250 minutes, which is over 4 hours. That could just be a nice long dark evening watching Netflix, couldn't it, really? Or BritBox. Binge watch a TV series from, say, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Get all those pesky little ends woven in. So what's next, I hear you ask? Well, we have to finish off this front part. So these front edges don't actually properly meet on the front of my body, and there's a reason for that. There's a wide band that goes up and around from like the bottom hem down on the left, all the way around the hood, down to the bottom hem on the right. Now, what she does in her coat is very beautiful. She uses basically this sort of Catherine wheel thing. But what she does is she does it vertically along the border, and she does each of these bits in a different colour. Can you see where this is going? Can you see where this is going? I want this done in a week. It's now November 23rd. We have a week left of November. I have all sorts of fun ideas for December and Vlogmas. I don't want this thing hanging around. So I am going to simplify the front bands. I may just do stripes, or what I may do is I may do this bobble idea and just have a band with bobbles running up and down and around. The bobbles don't take that much extra time. They're actually not hard, and I think it's probably worth the effort to do that. But there was no way I was going to make all these little different coloured segments with more ends to weave in, and all these little bits of back and forth for each tiny little eye of the Catherine wheel. No. No, no, no. Not for me. So once I have worked my way along that front edge all the way around and figured out there'll probably be a little bit of back and forth and ripping back and redoing and ripping back and redoing, because I want to make sure that my stitch number is correct for the amount of rows I have. You know what it's like. If you knit or crochet and you've ever picked up stitches from a finished edge, you'll know that if you have too few stitches, you're going to pucker it in too much. Too many, you're going to make it all wavy. It's got to be just the right amount of stitches. And with the front band of a garment, you want it to be almost cinching it up a little bit, because it's likely to stretch out anyway. So that will be my next fun step, is working into that edge with all my lovely tails hanging off it. So many tails. Let's have a quick look at what these books are like. This one's called Get Messy Art by Kaylee Gray, C-A-Y-L-E-E Gray. There's the bookmark I picked up at the library today. No rules, no judgment, no pressure approach to making art. This is the first time I've had a look in these books, so I'm not sure what they're going to be like. Just going to do a quick flick. Oh, look, handmade journals. Oh, handmade journals. I think I said last time that it was either Kate at the Last Homely House or Anna and Carlos who got me into the idea of handmade journals. Let's flip to some pretty pictures. Oh yes, junk journals. Now, I used to follow a person who just made junk journals all the time. A couple of people, actually. Can't remember what their channels are called now because I'm not following them anymore. But yeah, junk journals are fun. You can fit all sorts of random stuff in those things. There aren't really any rules. You can dye paper with tea or turmeric or something exciting. You can add stitching, you can add bits of paper from books, you can add lace. Some of them are so over the top, I'm not sure how practical they are, and really it's the making of them that's the wonderful part, maybe more so than using them, but it's all good fun. Okay, that's that one. Raw Art Journaling, Making Meaning, Making Art by Quinn MacDonald. See what this one's all about. What's Raw Art Journal? Nope. Somebody else's. Library receipts left in there. Poetry, words, artwork. Oh, some haikus you might want to be inspired by. You know, you could just write words on paper and cut them out and rearrange them. One thing I am wanting to try, and I have thought about this for years and I still haven't done it, is decoupage. And I know you can buy Mod Podge, do it properly, but someone once said that Mod Podge is basically just watered down white glue. Now, I'm sure it's a bit more complicated than that, but I might just try it with watered down school glue just to try it out and see if it works. Mixed Media Masterpieces with Jenny and Aran. Jenny Hyde and Aran Nieradka. Oh, probably pronounced that wrong, didn't I? Founders of the blog Every Day is a Holiday. Lots more creative ideas. Ah, looks like some decoupage happening there. What I did learn from that huge book that I had out from the library last week, which was all about Mod Podge, is that you're supposed to use acrylic paint, especially if you want to do something like a metal tin. You want to paint the whole thing with acrylic paint first as a base, and then you could start gluing on all sorts of little bits of paper or whatever you've got. Oh, look, that's pretty. Oh, so pretty. Oh yeah, definitely something. Maybe something for tomorrow. Isn't that beautiful? My favorite colors in pink and turquoise. I better not show you too much because we don't want anyone getting into trouble with copyright, do we? Journal Spilling. Mixed Media Techniques for Free Expression by Diana Trout. Not sure what she means by spilling. Ah, she's using watercolors. That's another thing I have not done in a long time. I have a set of watercolors on my table over there alongside my gel pens. And I think it's time to play with those again as well. Honestly, there's just too much fun stuff to do, isn't there? So much. Gel pen play. Oh, that's what I like the sound of, especially with my new set of 100 gel pens. Yeah, I don't really consider myself an artist, but I like to play with craft materials. And I think I could have fun with these ideas. All right, I will be taking these back up to my coffee table, having a proper look at them later on. So here's my ideal Sunday. Tomorrow, I'd like to get up at a reasonable time and have my breakfast, get dressed and go out for a walk with Mr. Stitches, and then spend the rest of the day crafting. I'm not going to commit to cooking for the family or doing anything else really. In fact, if my foot cooperates, and I have to say the plantar fasciitis in my right foot has been so painful this evening that I'm wondering what it's going to be like tomorrow. But if I go out for a walk in the morning, I could come back, put a cozy pair of pajamas on or a fleece onesie even, and just hunker down here with my pens and my fabric and my yarn. Maybe plan out that Christmas quilt that I wanted to make. I have a good idea for a block to use, which is really appropriate for a Christmas quilt. But I won't say anything about that yet. I need to play around with some ideas first. Yeah, I think that's going to be fun. So I think what I might do, if I'm going to be making a quilt, I'll have to get that big piece of batting that's pinned up out of the way in my other corner of my sewing room there, and I'm going to have to like unpin it and have it in front of my big whiteboard, and that way I'll have my design wall back again. It's not quite as good as Kate's design wall from the last homely house, but it works for me. But I had a book from the library last week that was about hexagon paper piecing, and that's something I played with many years ago, and kind of interested in doing it again. I've got these 2 fat quarters of Free Spirit fabrics, Kay Fassett and Brandon Mabley, and I was wondering whether to actually do something paper pieced and hand sewn with those. Seeing as I was talking about the Free Spirit fabrics, I thought I should show them to you if you haven't already seen them before. So one of these sets I bought from Bread and Paper in Salmon Arm. A beautiful store. Yarn, fabric, paper crafting supplies. Definitely recommend if you're in the area. Salmon Arm is in British Columbia in Canada, where I live. And if ever I go there, I always want to go into that shop. This other one was from Cherry Tree Quilts, which I think is closed now. That's in Summerland, which is also in British Columbia. And this was another set I got. And I actually got these at a bit of a discount. I think they were, I don't know if it was just a non-seasonal thing, like it had been replaced by a more up-to-date bundle, because I think that was 20% off. I don't usually buy pre-cut fabrics. I normally buy yardage because it's so much more economical. And you can buy more if you need more, right? You might need a meter, you might need 5 meters of the one thing, and pre-cuts restrict you to that size that they're cut at. And I've never bought a jelly roll. Not that I wouldn't object to having a jelly roll or 3 in my sewing room, but it always just felt like you're paying a lot for what it is. And I've never bought charm squares or layer cakes or anything like that, but fat quarters are a pretty usable size, aren't they? And I just thought maybe the paper piece hexagon idea would work with these. I had a Kay Fassett quilt book out last week too, and he uses quite basic shapes, but his fabrics are just amazing, and they just work, don't they? The way he puts color together, it's just amazing. And he doesn't need fancy shapes to make them look amazing, because the color and the design does it all. I haven't actually opened these up, but I don't think, well, I haven't opened them up fully. Like I've sort of undone them and had a quick glance through them, but I've not gone through them to make sure they're different, but I'm pretty sure all of the fabrics are different in here. Anyway, I'm going to finish up this vlog here, because whatever I play with tomorrow, I'm going to put in the next vlog. Otherwise it would get far too long. And I know some people are itching to get another vlog from me because they said so. Thank you so much for being so enthusiastic about the next, wanting to see the next video. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I know it'll be fun. So I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for being here, and have a great weekend.